Hey YouTube, it's Laura. Welcome to Love Chats with Laura. I wanted to talk today about the popular theme of sex and money in a transactional type relationship. We hear a lot of those types of interactions and types of, if you can call them relationships, being sung about, rapped about, spoken about in certain circles. And I just wanted to kind of lay out what I know about those kinds of relationships and really kind of what the truth about the dynamics that are playing out in those relationships really are and what they can really result in. So, without further ado, hit that subscribe button so that when we have the opportunity to chat, you will know, because you'll know when another video's been hit the notification button too. Hit the subscribe button so you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell so that you will know when other chats come out, and then so that you can give your input so that that will affect the content of future chats. So without further ado, let's get to talking about these sexually and money transactional type of relationships, which are being presented to women these days as being, they are presented as if they are reasonable substitutes for traditional relationships where, you know, the expectation is that you will be cherished and loved and, you know, respected and committed to and cared for and provided for as well. That's a part of there is an element of that in good committed relationships and marriages and all that. But this idea, this concept of the powerful cookie being able to achieve all of these financial benefits, and therefore that is the situation that you should be aspiring to involve yourself in, because that's where your real fulfillment is going to come from, and my suggestion is that though financial gain in a transactional way can be rewarding for women financially, it is not a substitute for emotional fulfillment that you receive in a quality relationship where you're being loved and respected and cherished. It just isn't. Okay? Now ask me how I know. I ain't gonna tell you. But I'm 61 and I've been through a lot in my life. I have experienced a lot in my life. Now, I can tell you that there is a degree of empowerment that comes from receiving financial benefits from a man in a way where you feel like, you are controlling the flow of these finances into your life based on your sexual allure. Okay? That can be an empowering thing. However, it is not a lasting thing. It is not a long-term, it's temporary. Okay? It's temporary. Okay? Because, for one thing, Okay, let me say this. Okay, now, and I'm especially talking about the kinds of money that are being depicted in music and raps and videos and all of that. Those are not realistic sums of money for your average beautiful woman. Okay? I don't care how beautiful she is or how sexually alluring she is. There just are not, there just is not this abundance of flow of, hundreds of thousands of dollars per interaction and per relationship. That's just not happening broadly and generally for beautiful women. Okay? So that's the first thing, is that the degree to which these finances are flowing into women's lives is not what's being depicted. Okay? Like when you see those commercials and the people start telling you how good some product did for them, and then at the bottom it says in the small print, actual results may differ. That's what them situations are like. Okay? So you need to recognize that. The other thing is the temporary nature of it is sometimes the part that can be hurtful to people. Let's say somebody is receiving financial benefits from a man. That is not enough to hold forever. Okay? Not even just as a sexual transactional thing. Because most men who involve themselves in those type of situations and who have the money to support those type of situations they are not just content, with one of those situations. And so it is only a matter of time, and sometimes a very short time, where a man will say, all right, I had enough of that. No more of that. And that source is probably going to dry up, So it certainly isn't something that can be a substitute for a real relationship. Now, let me tell you what some of the pitfalls of believing that is what women should aspire to. Because I certainly understand why women are looking for alternative ways of being empowered and fulfilled in their relationships. Because frankly, the quality of many relationships sucks. Okay? You talk to your average person, you talk to 10 people, and you're going to find 7 of them saying their relationship is crap. And you only going to get 3 to lie and say that it ain't. I'm just kidding. But you're not going to, there are lots of bad relationships going on out here. And I think, there are various reasons for that, which have to do with the choices that we make in our lives and the standards that we set for ourselves in our relationships. But this presentation of, these sexual money transactional relationships as an empowerment for women, it's a reason why those things are popular, why that mentality has caught on. Because women are looking for ways to be empowered in relationships. And the ways, and looking for ways to control the trajectory of their relationships. So Yeah, I see why. You know, when somebody says, I give him the cookie, he give me the money, and that's all I care about. Why that would be appealing to many people, because it's like, well, damn, I got to get something out of it. And if I'm giving up the cookie, I might as well be getting something for it. I can understand having, coming around to that mindset. But please know that the same way that you can be hurt by the relationships, the regular relationships that you unwisely enter into, you can certainly be devastated by these financial transactional relationships. Let me give you an example of a situation that I am personally familiar with. There was a woman who, in her heyday, in her youth of when she was dealing with a lot of men, and having, these financially beneficial interactions with men, as a way of, well, I think for her it was a frustration, like I said, of not having, found a decent traditional relationship for herself. Okay. And so she began to take this attitude that, well, that's all, well, then all I want is the money. Then, the hell with anything else. And so this one guy who she, who had been, he was kind of a wealthy guy. Well, he was a wealthy guy, by certain standards. He wasn't like a billionaire or anything like that, but it was very possible that he was a millionaire. And he was, showering her with financial rewards for her sexual involvement with him. And he began to lose interest in the whole situation. So I can remember talking to her and her saying, that her money was not rolling in the way that she was used to it rolling in, and that she was going to have to do something else to keep that money rolling in, So she got pregnant by the guy. She got pregnant by him. And of course, she got child support. Now she ain't get as much as she was getting when she was just having sex with him, And so that was that. Okay, that happened. Okay. And so then, and she was a beautiful woman, so is a beautiful woman, I'm sure, still. And she had, she entered into another situation like that. And same outcome, eventually the guy started to, the money became less and less. The less, it was less of an attraction or less of a novelty for him. And so she then resorted to, like kind of sort of acting like she wanted to be in a relationship with him. And she got pregnant by him too. And so now here she is with these two children, innocent children being brought into the world for the purpose of securing financial benefits, which is like, it just, and she's, she's bitter, and she's, her kids have like horrible relationships with their fathers because they feel like, like it's just, that was just somebody I was messing with, and I was paying her. Why she get, why she tripping, and so that tells you what the relationship between these men and the children that came out of these interactions is. It's not a good situation. Another potential for these kinds of relationships is emotional attachment developing on the part of the woman or the man. and emotional hurt results. You know, I have a friend right now who was, financially supportive of a woman that obviously was not ever, in love with him or anything like that. She was receiving her emotional fulfillment from other relationships, but she was continuing to deal with him, and he was providing her with financial support. And he ended up being just completely, dragged through the mud with this situation, and, I'm not sure what her, I'm imagining she was just receiving her emotional fulfillment elsewhere, and then I know of women who have become attached to men that they are entering into these transactional type situationships with, and they end up falling in love with the guy, and the guy's like, hey, babe, this, you knew what it was, and now I'm moving on, because now I want to be with, now I want to give my money to Susie Jane. Damn, Susie Jane be getting a lot of action, don't she, on my videos? But nah, I want to give my money to Susie Jane now because her butt is bigger. Or I'll tell you what happened to one girl. He fell in love with Susie Jane, and he was gonna marry Susie Jane, but yet he still wanted to receive sexual benefits from my friend. But he was in love with Susie Jane. She was devastated by that, because Susie Jane was gonna get the money because he loved her. I'm just saying that, you got to really think about, these type of interactions. They're not all that they are presented to be. So I know that women are looking for empowerment in their relationships. I'm just suggesting to you that that's not necessarily the way to do it. Now, that is not the same thing as being involved with a man who cares about you to the point where he wants to make sure that you are financially okay. That you are provided for because you his woman and he wants to provide for you. That is not the same thing as a sexual transactional relationship. That is you being involved with a man that has no problem providing for you, okay? If he wants you to become his wife, he's going to provide for you. He's saying, I can afford to provide for you as my wife, or my fiance, or my committed girlfriend, or whatever it is that, the two of you find acceptable. That's not the same thing. Okay, because that's coming out of a man's love and his, how he truly cares for you. Not just, she got them cookies that I want right now, and I'm going to go ahead. If I got to pay for it, I'll pay for it. Yeah, I know, hey, call me a trick, but I'm doing it. That's what I'm doing right now. It's a difference. So, those are patterns that are presented to us as women as, possibilities for us to feel better about the outcomes of our relationships. I say you got to think long and hard before you enter into one of those situations, okay, and know the potential outcomes for it. All right. Now, you can subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate if you would do that. And hit the notification bell so that you will know when videos are coming out. But I'm going to keep running my mouth regardless, you know what I mean? Because I enjoy it. And I can tell you this, that a lot of the things that I talk about are things that I have some personal experience with, or that someone very close to me or that has been very close to me at some point has experienced, or there are mistakes that I've made or successes that I've had. So I'm not just popping stuff out of the blue. Okay. All right. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Love you, love buds. Bye-bye.